Good evening. We're sitting here tonight at Petra's Commonwealth Avenue in Charlotte. I'm sitting here with my brother Umar bin Hassan of The Last Poets. As I said earlier tonight, in the beginning, before hip hop, there was the word, and the word was spoken by the last poets. Hip hop, people claim that hip hop started August 11th, 1973, and that is a date that historians of hip hop accept. And for modern hip hop, perhaps that was the date. But the last poets and the spoken word and the spirit and the vibe that preceded hip hop was coming from the last poets in 1969, 1970. These brothers laid the foundation. They were the forefathers of hip hop. We were blessed here tonight to have my big brother Umar bin Hassan with us. It was an honor and a privilege to have him in town. We hope to have him back. And I would just like to, give a few moments and let him say some things that he feels like is important for the people to hear, things that are on his heart. And I think we'll begin with that. Just what would be the message for you if you could say something beyond the music, beyond the poetry, a message to the people today?
Well, the first thing I would talk about is how me and you met, because we met on the phone for about a week, and you kept saying, so, I'm Muslim. So, but then when I got here and I found out you were a white guy, I said, whoa, he's a Muslim too? And then we made Salat together and we gave our praises to Allah, and it's been a wonderful adventure, a wonderful time here. So it's been a pleasure to know this brother. Now that I know that he is my brother, not just in race or exchanging good words, but we are brothers in heart and intention of trying to make this a better world for all of us, white and black, because it belongs to all of us. It does not belong to the rich or the corporations, but the world belongs to all of those who work for the rich and the corporate, and who have to get up every morning wondering if they still have a job. So I'm glad to be part of this, to be here and to enjoy this moment with the brother here, Jibril, and hopefully, inshallah, we might be able to do it again.
And I'm glad you mentioned the history, because there again, and the fact that when you got here, you found out who I really was. It wasn't the first time. Believe me, it wasn't the first time. I can go back 30, 35 years when I showed up at the door and the mother thought I was somebody else. She thought I was a different shade, and she found out me. But we have a relationship beyond color. Religiously, we have that. Spiritually, we have that. Musically, we have that. And that's what the essence of powerful spiritual music, like Umar bin Hassan has given us in The Last Poets. It really goes beyond a color necessarily. It moves the soul. It moves the conscious. It may speak to a certain people more than others, but if you have a spirit, the spirit doesn't have a color. You can connect with it, and it can take you somewhere else. And we talk about religion again. It was hip hop. It was seeds from hip hop that led me to Islam. That was my first dawah, because the spirit, the vibration, the words that were dropped, even though you may not know what the words were, subliminally, that music is taking you somewhere. Just like now, the music is taking the kids somewhere else, but it's not in the right place. That's why we have to continue to honor those that are doing the right thing, that have done the right thing. And we have people today that's doing good music too. And one more thing I would like to add too, our bond really goes back. I feel like, because when I came in Islam, I came under OGs, some of the OGs that you came under. We didn't know each other at the time, but I feel like we go back beyond 2 weeks or 5 years. I feel like we go back to about 72, even though we really don't. But I feel that you took your shahada in State Street Mosque with those brothers in Brooklyn, the same brothers that I took my shahada with, but many years afterwards. Yeah, so this is some history. If you're ever in Brooklyn and you go by Masjid Dawood on State Street, that mosque gave birth to some of the last poets, to the Dar Islam movement, to Imam Jamil, who used to be Jamil Al-Amin. That masjid has a lot of history, and I'm a person, I love history. I respect my elders, and I respect history, and wherever I am, whether it's a person or if it's an edifice or it's a road or whatever it is, I try to absorb and connect with that history. And that's what we did here tonight. We connected with history, and we connected with some of the young spoken word artists. And I would just like to ask you again, is there any advice that you would give someone younger? I don't really see a lot of. I see the frequency in hip hop now. I think it peaked in the late '80s and early '90s, and then it kind of went down. And you have some hills and valleys, and you have some people doing positive things. You have.
It's going towards spoken word now. Hip hop is going towards spoken word. They know that craziness and that madness about women and everything else they were dealing with. They know that couldn't last too long, and it hasn't. So everything now is going towards spoken words. And a lot of the young brothers be coming up to me, asking me, what do you think is true? How should I do this? I mean, which way should I handle it? I just tell them, be honest with yourself, as I said tonight, and write what you feel. And if what you write, what you feel, and it's good, it's going to reach the people whom it needs to reach. Just be honest with yourself and honest with your crowd and honest with the people you're trying to share with. So this has been, I've been doing this for 50 years. And so I learn something every day. I do. I meet new people every day in this. So I'm happy about that, man. I'm happy about what I've done and what I've shared with this world. So I don't have nothing to be mad about nobody. I really don't at this time. I would like to see all of us feel like the way I feel, but we can all learn how to respect and reach out to each other if we need help, and just try to share a little love with one another, because we can't America cannot keep living like this. It's not going to make it with the hatred and the different gangs and the different organizations at each other's throat. It's not going to make it. It's madness. This is madness. So I'm glad that I came here tonight. I'm glad I came here with this brother, whom I know now is a Muslim, and we make prayer together. So this has been a good time for me. It really has.
Again, this whole weekend has been a blessing. And like Umar is alluding to, similar to what Grandmaster Kaz has said, with hip hop didn't invent anything. It just reinvented everything. And as we go forward, our youth just needs to reinvent what is already there, the goodness of what is already there. They can say it a little differently if they need to, but they just need to keep reinventing what is already there, and I think that will be the key to success, and not just try to take it in a trashy area. Again, thank you for blessing us with your presence tonight.
I'd like to thank the cafeteria, what's his name here? Petrus. I want to thank Petrus for allowing me to come here and share myself again with these people. I love this place. I'm beginning to fall in love with this place. I might try to set up a bed somewhere, in the bathroom or somewhere, but I do. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
How, and this might be a softball, or you might hit me with your head. I don't know.
Go ahead.
How did words change the world?
It's not the words, but who spoke the words. That's what changed the world. It's not the words, but those who spoke them and used them enthusiastically and freely and openly to touch hearts. That's what changed the world. The words were just there, but the magnificent people, I can name many, and I ain't going to go into, but they are the ones who changed the world, who realized that the world needed to change, but thought out with the words, sharing words with each other, sharing ideas with each other, sharing thoughts with one another. So the words were important, but the people who carried those words and spoke the words, they were the most important.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's like I said in the beginning, before hip hop, there was the word, but the word was spoken. And how that word is spoken, the frequency of that word is what changes the world and changes the hearts and mind of people. It's the spoken word. The word itself is not going to change, but the spoken word and the frequency the frequency of The Last Poets, the frequency of Gil Scott-Heron, later on the frequency of Public Enemy, Rakim, KRS-One. That, it changed my life. It changed my life. I mean, that's why they say hip-hop changed my life. Hip-hop did change my life, and I'll never forget my roots. So with that, we say thank you all, and peace. Assalamu alaikum.
And have
Good night.
a wonderful evening and a great tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you all.